Hey kids, today I'm going to show you how to make a portrait of Frida Kahlo. So we've talked about Frida Kahlo, we talked about that she's from Mexico, but let's talk about some of the reasons that she was a famous artist. Well, one of the main reasons is she was a woman. Back in her day and time, there weren't many women that were making art, especially that were selling art and getting a lot of attention for their art. So she was that was something that made her really stand out. Two, that she was from Mexico. A lot of artists in Mexico are creating crafts and smaller items, maybe painted pottery or small little figurines for the home, not necessarily big works of art. And three, Frida Kahlo is well known for her unibrow. Now, she did have a little bit of a unibrow, but in all of her self-portraits, she really made that emphasized. Like, she really made sure that you knew that she knew she had a unibrow. Kind of made her a little bit famous. So all of these things added together, plus a really talented work of art and an interesting life, made her the artist that we're going to talk about for this project. So this is my example of a finished project, and I want to walk you through the steps of how we're going to put that together. So first, you're going to get a piece of paper that looks like this. I have already drawn the outline of the silhouette of the person's, like a person's head, neck, shoulders, that kind of thing. You need to use scissors and cut that out. So use that, cut it out, glue it to a blank piece of blue paper. So cut it out, glue it. After you do that, it's going to look like this. You're also going to get a blank black piece of paper about this size, and we're going to be drawing, this is going to be like her hair, and we're going to imagine that her hair is kind of like a bun pulled up on top. You can use a white crayon or you can use a pencil to draw this. I would definitely draw it first before you made any decisions about cutting. So after you draw it, you might want to hold it up next to the paper to see if it's going to fit before you use scissors to make the final cuts. So this is my drawing. I kind of made like just a bumpy line on the top here and then a rainbow line at the bottom, and that usually fits pretty well on that. Just used a piece of scrapbook paper that I glued across the bottom of the shirt, and I just cut a little dip in mine so it kind of fit the neck, if that makes sense. For the tissue paper, I already have cut these squares for you, and there's a bunch of different colors. Right now I just have the orange and the yellow. So they're in a square shape. The first thing I would like for you to do is to cut those more into a circular shape. That way they look a little more like a flower. And if it's not a perfect circle or you mess up a little bit, that's okay. It might make it look even a little more realistic. We just don't want to leave it in the shape of a square. Now, you're going to want to open up your glue bottle, twist it so that little white piece of plastic kind of seems like it sinks down in. And I like to put this kind of around my finger, like that, cover up my finger, and put one little bitty, just little bit, if you put too much, you'll ruin your paper, it gets all soggy. One little bitty dot of glue. And on that dot of glue, just take it and stick it to that black hair. Hold it down for a few seconds, let that really dry. You can kind of crunch it up if you need to. There you go. So I added the unibrow and some earrings, just some extra decorations. And if you want to, you could also draw on this shirt area. Like if you wanted to do your own designs down here, instead of using a piece of that scrapbook paper, you could. This unibrow, you want to make it like above this line of the ears. Right here is where her eyes would be, so you want to make it above that line. You can put in eyes, nose, and a mouth if you want. That's totally your preference. I didn't. I just wanted to keep mine simple. I just wanted the flowers. I wanted the unibrow, a bright, colorful shirt, pretty background, earrings. But you have artistic creativity here, so you can really make it look the way you want it to look. When you get finished, put your name on your paper. Put it in the drying area and clean up your area before you do anything else. You can play with Legos, you can do free draw paper, but make sure your area is cleaned up. And I wouldn't even mind if you cleaned up something that you didn't make the mess. Like cleaned up something that didn't belong to you. That would help me out. Okay, try your best.